I don't know who this is for, but it's not falling apart, it's unfolding in your favor. I was in Genesis the other day, specifically the story of Joseph. And on this specific part, God highlighted to me the moment when Jacob uttered the words. I wanted to specifically get it, but he uttered the words, "Everything is going against me." And as I read the words of him, I could only laugh. Because as someone who was reading the story and saw the full picture of what was going on and what God was up to, I could only laugh at Jacob's words. So to give a quick little backstory, this is Joseph's story. So his brothers basically betrayed him. And in that betrayal, God raised him up and allowed him to be a great leader in Egypt. He was like Pharaoh's right hand man. So everything he handled, the Pharaoh really didn't have to worry about anything. And so Joseph was Jacob's son. Matter of fact, he was the son that Jacob was able to have in his old age. So Jacob loved him dearly. If anything, he loved him more than the other brothers. That's a whole nother thing. So the way that Joseph's brothers betrayed him was by selling him into slavery. And they told their father Jacob that Joseph died, that like a wild animal had eaten him. They had dipped his robe in blood and given it to his father and basically said that Joseph was okay. And so God was gracious enough to bless Jacob with another son. Now, mind you, Joseph were all his other brothers. I forgot how many it was, but he had a whole bunch of brothers. But they were his half brother. Joseph was their half brother. And yes, Joseph got special treatment, so that caused a lot of animosity and a whole nother story. We gonna push that to the side. But right now, I want to talk about this moment where Jacob said that everything is working against me. Now, what was going on in the moment when Jacob said everything is working against me? I'm glad you asked. So, before Jacob uttered these words, Joseph was in a position to where he was high up in Egypt. Okay? God was blessing him and he was living prosperous. And so, Egypt was dealing with years of famine. They had 7 years of, riches and good farming and whatnot, and then 7 years of famine. And so God gave Joseph like the divine strategy to be able to store grain in those 7 years where everything was a-okay, and use what they stored to survive in the 7 years of famine. So Jacob sent his sons to go get some food from there. Now, being that Joseph was in charge of this operation, he came across many of the people who came to get food. So when his brothers came to get food, he was dumbfounded. You can only imagine how Joseph felt in that moment. So Joseph begins questioning them of everything. Where they come from, are they spies? He accused them of being spies and all that extra stuff. And so as he was questioning them, that's when Joseph figured out that Jacob was blessed with another son named Benjamin. So Joseph was like, hold on, I got a whole brother out here? And so Joseph was like, I don't trust y'all. Y'all are spies. He sees them the whole time, but the brothers don't recognize him. He's probably in his like Egyptian garb. He probably has like the little headset, whole nine. So Joseph throws them in jail for like 3 days. He was mad. I mean, he was on one. And so after that 3 days, he told them, okay, one of you stay behind and the rest of you go and get your brother, like I said. So they go get their brother, but Joseph gives them special instructions to give them bags of grain and to put the payment that they gave them at the top of the bag. And so along the journey, the brothers opened their bags of grain to like feed the horses or donkeys, whatever it was. And they saw that the payment was at the top. So they were like, oh my gosh, this is coming back at us like we're paying for the blood of Joseph. So as they get home, they tell their dad about what happened, and this is where it gets to Jacob. Jacob is in grief, excuse me. Jacob is like, so you're telling me I have one son that's dead because of y'all, and now I have another one that's in prison because of y'all, so I've lost two sons? Whole time God setting him up for double, y'all. He thinking he losing. God setting him up for double. He think his life falling apart. It's unfolding. The evil man that he feels was working against him in this moment, taking away his other son, was really his son that he thinks is dead. And so as I was reading that where he said, this is everything is working against me, I could only chuckle because I'm like, my boy, it's unfolding for you. And so fast forward, everything works out. He sends Benjamin to Egypt. And he even said, if I lose another son, Benjamin, I will die. And so in the end, he reunites with Joseph at the end of all this. Whole time, God was just having this unfold for for the good, to restore back what he lost, double. And so anybody out there who resonates with that story, I know it feels like your life is falling apart. I know it feels like you're feeling like God is not coming through for you, but the whole time you're just not seeing the bigger picture. Whole time he's allowing these things to unfold and work out in your favor. I'm seeing like a map. God showed me like a vision of a map. It literally you unfolding. It's like unfolding a map. When it's folded up, you can't really see the full picture, right? But as you're unfolding it, you're seeing the full picture and you're seeing the whole timeline, the whole journey of why God took you through the things that he took you through, why things had to go the way it did for you to be in this moment, in this time. So when you think you may have lost, no, God is preparing you for double. He's preparing you for restoration, and he's working things out in your favor. All right, I hope this wasn't too long, and I hope y'all were blessed by this word. God loves you, and I love you, and I pray that this was encouraging. Love and blessings. Peace.